Hey Papper people, welcome to my iBreeze tutorial. Oh, nothing gets my heart aflutter like a tutorial video. Wow. If you missed my overall impressions of the iBreeze machine, you missed a video. That's why you need to subscribe and smack that like button. You're already here, so finish watching this one. I will leave a link for it at the very end of this video. You can click it quickly and easily to see what my overall impressions are. Enjoy the tutorial.
Let's take a deep dive into this thing. Just look at my hands. I know, I'm a hand model. I'll try to keep them out so you guys don't get distracted. I understand. To get into the doctor's menu, they call it doctor, and I'll show you why in a minute. We have the on button right here. We don't care about that one right now. Right over here, we have the ramp. So we're gonna push it on ramp while info is highlighted. Push it on ramp, and then we're gonna hold in on the knob. All of a sudden, doctor pops up right there. And I'm going to zoom in just a smidge because we're more or less done with that stuff. Right now we're on CPAP mode. If we wanted to go APAP mode, it changes a lot of the parameters. So we'll get to that in just a second. First, I want to discuss this. It is called eComp. Now, eComp is weird. It is for new patients. So if your doctor, say, prescribes you, in this example, it's set for 10 right there. If first night you're using it and you have eComp enabled, so turned on like that, it would start off at 50% of the prescribed pressure. So it'd start off at 5, and then every night I use it, it's gonna increase by 1 centimeter of water. That is the pressure unit you use with CPAP. So for example, night 1 it's gonna be at 5, night 2 it'll be at 6, night 3 it'll be 7, then so on and so on until it reaches the prescribed pressure. There is another thing you can do, and that is on the APAP mode. So let's take a real quick look at that. If we select CPAP, we toggle over to APAP. Now all of a sudden we have a range, but we also have this thing called R-Care. Now R-Care is turned off right now. Click in, rotate, click on. R-Care is now on. What it does is it starts the APAP off at the 95th percentile of what it has been in the past. Does that not make sense? That's a shocker. So for example, your doctor puts you on that god-awful pressure range of 5 to 20. Let's pretend like you suffer through for the first couple nights, you suffer through and you pretty much remain at about 10 for the duration of the night. That's like your 95th percentile. That's like your pretty much your average of the night. What R-Care is going to do is the next time you start up your APAP with R-Care on, instead of starting you off at 10 where you typically ended up, it'll start you at 9.5 and it'll start it from there. Even though the low end of your APAP range, so your P min, even though it's set at 5, the R-Care is gonna increase that higher. Now, as someone who does not like APAP, this is worthless to me, but it might be helpful for some people. My other problem with it is I don't know anything about the algorithm and how well the algorithm reads events. Is it good at it or is it bad? Every other machine on the planet is horrible with it, so I don't expect this to be much better, but this is something I'm unable to verify at this time. So we have info, that's basically your nightly usage. I did not use it last night, so therefore there is no usage. To be honest, all the information in there is really unuseful. Let me go back to a night that I did use it. Try that one. That one I didn't have as much time. So here's like 7 hours of use, and it tells me really nothing of any value. I have no detail in there, so it's not real helpful. Humidity is the next one. That's just a simple increase or decrease of the humidification. I have no water in there, so it's not gonna show me anything. But that's just where you increase, decrease the amount of heat applied to the hot plate inside the humidification chamber. Mask fit. Have your mask on, hit that, it'll tell you, is it a good leak or is it a bad leak? Let's go ahead and let it run. Oh no, a frowny face. We need to adjust it. You can kind of tell when there's a leak on your mask, so I wouldn't say that's entirely helpful, but there you go. It basically tells you if the machine is able to compensate for the lack of pressure because the leak is too high. If you can hear your mask hissing, the leak's too high. Comfort. Okay, this is where we have the IPR. This stands for Intelligence Pressure Relief. What you do, click on there. Every time you exhale, this will decrease the pressure by 1, 2, or 3 centimeters of water. For example, if I am, like I am right now, set to 10, and the IPR, the pressure relief, is set to 0, it'll just stay at 10 centimeters of water every time I exhale. Now it's going to drop to 9. Now it's going to drop to 8 every time I exhale, and now it drops to 7 every time I exhale. Basically turning this into a poor man's bi-level. Not great for all people. In fact, it causes a lot of other problems, but that's for other videos that I've already done. All right, auto start, on or off. So this is, you could just put the mask on and it'll start up if you have it on, or you can put the mask on and start breathing and suck away forever and nothing will ever happen. You have to reach over and hit the top there to turn it on. Auto stop, same thing. If you take the mask off and throw it across the room in the middle of the night with the machine on, it'll automatically turn off. If you have it set to off though, it'll just keep running and keep hitting your cat in the face all night long. The ramp. Some people need a ramp. Setting the ramp is fairly easy. So this is where you set the pressure, so P ramp. What pressure do you want the ramp to start off? And then you go over to ramp time, and how long would you like the ramp to persist? Now remember, in general, ramp is often just suffering. It's suffering until you get up to your therapeutic pressure. Or you can set it for auto ramp and it somehow feels like it can detect when you're asleep or not. Good luck with that. Okay, we have the tubing. What kind of tubing are you using? We have the 15 millimeter, which it actually defaulted to, even though they sent it with a 19 millimeter tube. So that was interesting. You'll definitely notice the pressure is completely dicked up if this happens. I'm actually not sure what the 2.5s are for. I have absolutely no idea. My hunch is that it would be for a mask such as the N30 and it has this little extra hose piece. I think that might be what the 2.5 is. So you have the overall thickness is 19 and then do you have a little extra? I think that's what it's for, but I'm not 100%. So don't quote me on that. Type of mask, nasal, pillow, or full face mask. And then lastly, we have the pressure that you like the mask fit to run at. So earlier we did a pressure check. It was done at 12. You can increase this if you want to do the pressure check much higher or lower, wherever you have that. Kind of a weird spot for it. Honestly, it really, really should be back there on the mask fit, but to each their own. Now we can go ahead and move this to APAP. Now we have two different pressures. So we have the max pressure. You just select it and turn it. So we can set that for 13 if we want. And then we would go over to the min pressure where it's going to start, put it wherever you want. Go ahead and suffer on APAP until you figure out that CPAP is actually the better thing to do. All the other settings in here are going to be the exact same as CPAP. So more or less, this is the machine.
Hopefully you guys found that helpful. If not, I apologize for wasting 10 minutes of your time. Sorry.
Why does your mask smell like my feet? Pick up some Mask Bright today. Thank you to all watching, but an extra thick thanks, buddy, to Doug Toombs, Jason Georgiades, Matthew Lilly, Mona Swearingen, Chung Chu Chen, Patricia Espelong, Ray Troutman, Sarvesh Joshi, and Stuart Hetherington, as well as a big thank you to all my other Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Little tiny thanks, buddy, for you guys.